timing. All right, we got my computer crash out of the way. Let me just.
Are you actually coming to the meeting, Zama?
Yeah, I am. I am attending. Though, Gold, you may still
Nice.
host it.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, my computer crashed. It likes to do that when I start recording sometimes. All right. Well, I'm glad that you're here, Zama, because now we can go over your bills, or at least that's how I like to do things. If you're here, you can go over the bills.
The bills that that are currently being written with my name on it, those are still needing to be rewritten. So I still have not had the time to.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't see that. Yep, you're right. Well, we haven't started yet, so let me just get a bearing of which bills there are. Oh, Card Shark wants to go on stage. There you go. You can go on stage.
I'd like to bring my bill on MP reforms up to vote when we're ready to actually do that. So.
Yeah. I noticed you're here, so I will put that on. We just gotta wait a bit for the meeting to start.
Yeah, I'll catch you.
So sorry to people who are viewing this during my recording. I know I'm switching tabs very often, and yes, I do have no idea what I'm doing. Okay. Pick up. I don't think he's here. Okay.
Gold, it's time.
All right. Start the stage. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Okay, I won't do that. Okay. Yeah, welcome to the meeting, guys. Great job attending. You don't think Agent is gonna attend? Well, sucks for him. He didn't tell me. Okay. Well, let's just immediately start with this first bill written by Card Shark. So, Card Shark, I will allow you to go up on stage once I remember how to do that. Invite to speak. There we go. Yeah. Would you like to talk about your bill?
Yeah, give me a second. Let me bust it out from the Trello so I can read through it.
Yeah, that's fine. Take your time.
There it is. Okay. Okay, so, let me get a few little details out of the way real fast. Is the MP representative here, actually?
There is not.
I'm here.
Yeah, HVAL is here, so he's technically the MP rep. Okay. I fully believe that the MP has lived up to the standards of upholding order within the CA, but there are a couple little things that I would like to change in order to just not necessarily make things better, but just streamline how the MP handles enforcing rules and stuff like that. Number one is the universal NJP doctrine. Let me just go ahead and read this off. Quote, "It is well known that NJPs are a quintessential part of the NCO toolkit. They were used by all NCOs to persuade their subordinate They are used by all NCOs to persuade their subordinates to follow the law without having to go through the paperwork troubles of filing a report. I believe that a universal sheet of NJPs for certain crimes would be a huge pain saver. This document would simply list out that, for example, immaturity is worth 15 HJs per count. Insubordination is worth 20 HJs per count. Insolence is worth 25 HJs per count, etc., etc. Also, regiments could raise the amount of HJs per crime. For example, dragoons could say that insubordination is worth 30 HJs per count. But a regiment could only raise the minimum amount of HJs per crime. They cannot give less HJs per crime than the CA standard. This would only set a minimum for NJPs across the board, as in you could still give more HJs per crime should the case be severe enough. This is meant to prevent MPs from letting friends or people they like off easy. What was it? H value said, in the replies to this, as a member of MP, I customize the severity of the crime and how the criminal is acting, and that will determine how many HJs I gave. I was originally thinking that the universal NJP doctrine would be the maximum amount of NJPs per crime, but your input made me say it was a minimum because your input is valid.
Alright,
And
so hold up. I'm gonna say something real quick because I know when it gets to regimental and stuff, like if a regimental officer gives like someone hijacks, and then like they can stack them for other crimes. Like if Hicom gives them HJs for one crime and Hellats for another crime, it kind of there's no. I wouldn't say if you're gonna set a maximum for just one punishment, like not for just the maximum amount of NJP. Be like the maximum amount of HJs or the maximum amount of Hell Labs able to be given, not just NJP.
yeah. I was set by NJ. I just used HJs as an example. Hell laps, jumping jacks, all that crap will all be factored in. But
Yeah, I was just saying,
but
don't make it like a minimum maximum just for like for NJP in general. Make it a minimum maximum for each crime.
yeah. I also wanted to kind of make it modular in a way, as in if someone were to commit like 3 counts of insub, a few counts of immaturity, you could stack all those sets on top of each other. So like bare minimum, they might be facing like 50 to 100 HJs. That would just maybe hammer it out, I guess.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Also,
Truck, if you could continue on with your bill, if you don't mind.
yeah, sure. Section 2, statute of limitations. Quote. I'm going to read this off. Quote, in the real court system in many places in the world, a statute of limitations is the maximum amount of time between when a crime is committed and when the perpetrator can no longer be charged for it. As in, if you robbed a gas station in 1993, 30 years later in 2023, if you had not already been charged with the crime yet, you could not be charged at all. Implementing something like this in the CA would serve the purpose of preventing people from being charged for crimes committed weeks or even months previously. This would promote 2 things. 1, MPs would feel the need to quicken investigations, not taking 2 weeks to pile on evidence for a crime that could be solved with a few HJs. Obviously, however, we don't want MPs to feel rushed during an investigation and potentially miss critical evidence, but we also don't want them to drag their feet and make an investigation unnecessarily thorough or drawn out. This would save people the headache of having to wait for a punishment to be served. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put that there. I have been on that list of like waiting to know if I'm gonna be demoted or not. The pain is real, man. So no, I don't want MPs to feel like they just need to just rush through and say, oh, he did X, Y, Z. Let's give him this amount of HJs, because obviously there might be a deeper story to it, and there might be a bigger crime going on in the way. Like, for example, they might be able to break out like he might have done corruption, but they skipped over that because it was just an in sub or whatever. Um, this is just to make it so MPs just don't try and be like good cop, bad cop from like a cop show and take down the whole drug ring for like one minor crime, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So kind of, I think I would make a adjustment is like an MP. If a MP member was to undergo that big of an investigation, where it's going to take multiple, like a week or 2 weeks, usually that MP member will be placed on a suspension or demoted to cadet until further notice. So I would say with this, if an investigate instead of like putting a limit, like if an investigation is going to take so long, like a temporary punishment will be served until proven innocent, and then if they're proven guilty, like the punishment will carry on.
So like, as in so what you're saying is if the investigation will take a while, they just
Yeah.
like temporarily demote the guy, and then if they
Yeah,
figure out they're innocent, they'll just give them their rank
yeah.
back, and if not, they'll just okay, that's
Because sometimes it'll like you'll have to investigate multiple people trying to get back to her, and sometimes HQ will get involved with logs and stuff. And there have been some investigations that have taken 2-3 months.
Yeah, I know, but if it's just like one time I committed a count of AA and the investigation took 3 days,
Yeah, I agree with
and
that.
it was like I ended up getting decommissioned, or like not decommissioned, demoted from corporal to HG. I was eventually able to appeal the demotion and get my rank back, but still having to wait for like 3 fucking days to know if I was going to get demoted or not was just stressful.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, I would say with that, like any crime that is that's gonna take multiple days, like multiple people to investigate, HQ gets involved. I would say for minor crimes, like maybe like a report should not take you more than a week, unless you
Yeah,
got something going on. So I would say like a week, like for murder or something like that. You take logs, get your proof, ask the questions, you're done. The report's done in an
yeah.
hour, less than an hour.
I have seen where MPs try to be like super cop, Batman investigating everything.
Yeah,
May I
yeah,
comment?
But if they do actually think there's something bigger going on, it's more power to them.
yeah.
I think they should take all the time they need to figure out what's going on. But if it's just something that could be handled like bing bong boom, done deal, then I don't think it's worth. I think this is a good idea. I'm also future Card Shark might try and pass a bill to implement a court system to flesh out the whole like Supreme Court hierarchy. But this would just set out the groundwork to actually implement a few rights and standards before the whole court system gets written out.
God, may I comment?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So when I look at this bill, right, with certainly the statute of limitations, right, that part, I think HQ is going to disagree with you upon that because one, HQ often does these big investigations, right, that take months because hey, we have groups that really are there to just try to destroy and harm the group, right, CA,
Yeah,
and that
yeah,
takes long to uncover. And when implementing this, right, in full as it is currently written down, you basically say, okay, if HQ is not able to solve it in a certain amount of time, they cannot be charged. But that is weird because if someone should be excommed for said crime, and we can't because we can't press charges against them because a certain time has passed, that would be really weird because we have a
I'm gonna cut you off real quick. I'm sorry, but the statute of limitations in real life doesn't apply to certain crimes. Like if you committed murder, if you had done it in like 1899 and you were somehow still alive, you could still be charged for it. Like statute of limitations doesn't apply to certain crimes, sex crimes, all sorts of things. They don't have a statute of limitations. You could be charged for those crimes 50, 60 years after you had done them. Think Golden State Killer. Guy got charged for like 5 or 6 murders decades after he had done them. There is no statute of limitations for murder. Also, then again, this House of Representatives is powerful, but it also operates underneath the shadow of the HQ. So if the HQ gets involved in an investigation, I don't think, if the HQ thinks it's big enough for them to get involved, the statute of limitations just won't apply, because at that point we're going to be saying, oh, the House of Representatives said you guys can't do that. That would just poke holes in the whole power thing.
Should be written down in your bill. Mention that in a sentence, and HQ will agree with you. And that is my only point I want to state.
Yeah, let me go ahead and jot
HQ
that.
will disagree. So you need
Yeah,
that
let me
down.
go ahead and jot that down.
Okay,
I'll put that
amazing.
in real fast.
Amazing. All right.
Okay.
I also got a comment. So, in my opinion, I feel like the universal NJP doctrine, I feel like it would be better if instead of maximum, it was actually minimum. Of course, the punishments would be lower than what they are, but when I first saw this bill and I thought it was the max or the minimum, I didn't agree with it because I consider myself kind of a merciful officer, so I like to give people,
a merciful God.
Well, yeah, I like to give people less helljacks most of the time, unless like I actually don't have remorse for them, then I'll give them the normal amount. But with this, I can't really do that. I can't really show any remorse apart from just picking the minimum punishment. So in that way, I don't really like it. But if instead it was the maximum, I feel like that would make more sense, so that people can't just give like 25 helljacks just for some random thing that someone did. But I feel like even then, that would be kind of common sense to not do, or at least to have a valid reason to ignore.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that, but then again, this bill is meant to just standardize all punishments as much as possible on like the day-to-day, not like big scale crimes, but just day-to-day like murder or whatever. This is meant to just standardize it, because on many occasions I've been given more HJs for a count of insub than an officer has been for corruption. So
yeah, that makes sense. Okay, any other questions or comments on this bill? Anyone at all?
I'm gonna just give me a few minutes so I can jot down the whole what thing that Zama said, and then we could put this up for vote in a second.
Yeah, sure thing.
Okay. Yeah, can I leave the stage?
Yes, sure thing. Hold on, I just forgot the command to change my tab all of a sudden. There we go. Okay, so I'll get back to that one later. I won't do a roll call vote for that one yet. Zama, you are here, but you said that your bills are still being written, so that's fine with me. I just won't cover them. Mega Kill, make aid to camp useful. I believe Mega Kill is here, although it is being written. So
I am here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So would you like to present your bill, or are you still writing it?
I can present it. It's pretty much fleshed out.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'll allow you to present that bill.
So, the bill I propose called Make Aid the Camp Useful is simply give Aid the Camp a job. But everyone knows that Aid the Camp exists. Nobody knows what Aid the Camp does. There's nobody ranked at Aid the Camp right now, but it's a rank that exists. So my idea is to give them a job almost on the level of a brigadier general. So what I propose is that Aid the Camp will take the place of HQ members and will run 4 organizations. The Officer Academy, the Highcom Academy, the Order of the Saber, and Board of Decorations. They will oversee those 4 organizations. Basically, making the camp have something to do. The camp will act like a brigadier general acts to his regiments, the regiments beneath his brigade. That's basically his job as the camp. Why would this be useful? I have 3 main reasons. First, the workload for HQ members that lately they have been complaining a lot. They have a lot to do, even though I call that cap. They say they have a lot to do. So we will reduce with this bill the weight on their shoulders, so that and the aid camp will do the job part of the job that HQ had. Second part, aid camp will have also another like a spot for future HQ. It's like a trial HQ. If someone is to become a HQ, maybe you go to aid camp and then you become HQ if you perform well as aid camp. And uh, third of all, those organizations will have a more direct mean to oversee themselves, to have someone overseeing them. They don't need to go ask HQ members that have other stuff to do. They can go directly to one person, which I find quite useful. So that's what this bill is for, basically.
All
May
right.
I
In that
comment?
case, are there any questions, Zama?
Yeah. So I have some valuable information for you, Mega. This has actually been going on in HQ as well. This bill has previously already been passed within the House, and it is currently still, even after like 3 to 4 months, even still being discussed in HQ today. And what they decided on is that we won't have an ADC, but a kernel of operations. And what that means is basically a kernel that does all of their jobs, but isn't HQ, but can't see HQ chart, but will be responsible for UDS, HOR, or not HOR, sorry, the OA, Highcombe Academy, etc. The things you mentioned, right? So brigadier generals are able to focus on their brigades. That has been discussed already. The thing is that currently we are going to lose quite a few HQ members, and a lot of valuable members within our group already have to fill in new HQ positions. So we still need to check after we filled these positions, including myself. I will be replaced soon as well. So all these people, when they are replaced, we will be able to check whether or not someone fits the task or fits the qualities of taking on that task of becoming a kernel of operations. So this bill already has passed previously.
And then what does the camp do?
AD Campus basically will become literally a kernel of operations. The name will be changed.
So this bill can still pass. I just need to change the name.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay, then.
Uh,
But is it official that rename has already happened or not? Is it official already happened? Already been renamed?
It is not officially yet implemented because it was not announced yet, but it is still being discussed.
all right. Well,
Okay.
there you go. Good idea. Looks like someone got to it first, but from the sounds of it, I assume. Correct me if I'm wrong, Zama, but he just needs to edit his bill and then it can go through just to almost be like a copy of the other one that's being talked about right now.
Yeah, it can be a reminder of them to get more candidates again because they're currently obtaining candidates for the role, but they have forgotten about it for quite some time now. I think 2 months they hadn't mentioned kernel of operations now. So it is a thing. It is being considered heavily.
All right, well, there you go, Mega. I would recommend you just change the name in some way. Maybe make I'm forgetting the word, but like a segment on it, a chapter on it, and yeah, then I can go back to you for a
Okay.
roll call vote. On I think Jamal Floyd. I don't believe. Hold on. Yeah, I'm looking at Jamal Floyd in the Roblox game right now. He's a house guard. I'll let him up. Okay. Where are you? Also, I know oh, just in game, I think. No? Oh, Mr. Robot. Yes, sorry. Okay, you already sent him on stage. Okay.
Hello, hello. All right. When you said ADC, like people are confused on what they do. Why not bring back CSM2?
Hold on.
Yeah,
I'll
this is the
allow
question. This is the
Mega
question.
to. Yeah, I'll allow Mega to go back on stage to answer this.
I have no clue what that is.
CSM. You don't remember Amir? Like his
Yeah,
rank.
yeah, I remember Amir. I don't remember what he did. As far as
Okay.
I know, when Amir was in HQ, he didn't do literally anything. He
How
was
about
just there
Michael?
sitting.
How about Michael?
Also, Michael did some random stuff.
All right. Isn't like ADC and CSM like not the same thing, but like just different names? Instead of like no one's in it.
May I
Right.
comment on that, Mr. Robles?
Yes. Yes, you can.
So, Command Sergeant Major was previously used to represent all NCOs and sometimes officers as well, but mostly the non-commissioned officer corps to try and improve the staff members overall. Sadly, that role got disbanded as ADC and Continental Sergeant Major was basically balanced out, right? It was all the commanding Sergeant Major or the ADC. It was one or the other, and currently it's the Speaker of the House. So ADC was replaced by the Speaker of the House role in the Roblox group, because if you check in the Roblox group, aide de camp doesn't exist anymore. It isn't a thing anymore, and therefore the whole meaning of ADC doesn't exist anymore, right? Because that is going to become a kernel of operations now, right? That's going to become High Command, not HQ. So therefore, Command Sergeant Major, as it is being balanced out by ADC again, Command Sergeant Major is hard to fill because what Plaid tries to do at all times is to try to have a minimal amount of HQ members, because the more HQ members you have, the harder it is to maintain a good functioning HQ, as opinions can be very different from one another. Then it's hard to run.
All right. I see Card Shark is wanting to go on stage, so I'll let him go on stage.
Also, one question: you did say that ADC has effectively been nerfed or nuked, and it no longer exists. But also, wasn't aide de camp originally just effectively a secretary to like a general? Like they just act as like their clerk, helping them like
So
get
what
things organized, arrange meetings and stuff. Like
ADC was quite literally a role to take on the OA. That was literally the origin of ADC. ADC was responsible for running the OA. But since then, CA has really expanded on its third-party services. So think about your Continental Times Media, Oots, stuff like that, right? So AD Camp after that became basically an electoral rule under Luigi. He basically said, okay, we're going to have two aide-de-camps, they're going to be voted on. Basically, what happened is people who were liked by the CA basically got put up there to represent the people, what I'm currently doing, and you guys are currently doing as representatives. Basically, therefore, ADC doesn't have a definition anymore, as OA is currently will be taken on by the kernel of operations, because that will be taken over soon. And for representing the people, that is what we do as the house, right? So therefore, ADC doesn't have a job anymore.
Okay, so I see Mega's still editing his bell. There's still some things that need to be edited, so I will hold off on that. But in the meantime, here I'll let Card Shark back up stage. Would you like to for us to have a roll call vote on your bill, Card Shark?
certainly.
Okay. Just as a reminder, his bill was for MP reforms for the Universal NJP Doctrine and the Statute of Limitations. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that one.
Statute.
Statute of Limitations. Thank you. So, again, just to clarify, a roll call vote is not for if the bill shall be passed or not, just for the bill to be voted on to move to legislation, if that makes sense. Okay, so roll call vote: yay if it should go to legislation, nay if it should not go to legislation. You can either do it in Roblox chat or not in Roblox chat. I don't know, in the stage chat. That's what I mean. Goodness. 2 yes. Another 3 as looks like. Oh no, that's 4. 4, I believe. 5 from Sophs. And I believe that's the majority. Oh well, we got 6 anyway. So yeah, that's the majority. This bill will be passed to legislation. On Havlet, you don't need to do that. I got it.
Everyone,
there we
ship
go.
shape. We have an HQ member in the house.
Yeah, I saw him. Okay. Yeah, it's put up for legislation. You can vote on it for 24 hours. If it is voted for legislation, then it will go to pending HQ approval, where HQ will then have to deal with it from there. Okay, let's see. I don't believe Pickup is here. I don't think he is. Yeah, I don't think he's here. Hold on, I just gotta get you off stage, Card Shark. Get out of here. Okay. Now I believe it's my bills this time. It's my favorite part of the meeting. Definitely not biased. I gotta remember which bills these were, because I got some ideas. Oh yeah, okay, so this bill, basically, it's just going to prevent the host of the meeting from going over bills of the people that aren't here. I've already been doing this, so some of you may not know that this is a thing. But, yeah, the speakers are able to go over whatever bills they want, technically. So this bill will just prevent that from happening. If a representative is not in the meeting, then their bill, if there is one that they made, will not be talked about in the meeting. And just some sub rules, if there's any questions. If under the representative's request, their bills can still be talked about during meetings, even if they're not there, just in case they want to. And also, in case you're wondering if, like, since people may be retiring when their term is over, during the last or second to last meeting of the current term, this rule will not apply, and all bills will be covered, whether the representatives are present at the meeting or not. Okay. Any questions for that?
I don't think this should be a whole bill. I think it'd just be an edit to the rules.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, I
Like,
think this should
sure,
just be.
sure, it's a full bill, but the bill is really just an
Yeah.
edit of the rules, just to, get you guys to talk about it and stuff.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
say we just vote on it as just a rule edit instead of a bill.
I believe. Well, I mean, if we just vote on it like a bill, then the same thing would get done, would it not?
But then it's kind of like I was thinking it would go through like the legislation, voting, and all that. Having to go through all that, it'd just be quicker to make it as an edit to the rules.
I'm actually I didn't talk about Zama with this, so I'm actually not sure. Can I just like make this bill into a thing? Like what Havlet suggested, I could just edit it in the rules, Zama?
Officially, you need to pass it by the House, and only by the House if it only applies to the House, except when it changes the full way the House serves. So if the House, basically the systematics, if it would change the full systematics of the House, yes, then it would need to be approved by the Senate. But as of now, right, you can just pass it within the House, and then it will be made a real thing, unless the House disagrees.
Well, in that case, I'll just keep it as a bill. No harm in doing that, really. Yeah, okay. Any other questions? Yeah, I got some people raising their hands. Mega, I will bring you up first. What is your comment and/or question?
I have a question. In case of a representative that made a bill that is to be discussed, if for some reason before that bill is discussed, his term ends, not his term ends, he gets removed as a representative for some reason. He broke some rule or something, he gets removed, but the bill is still there. In the middle of his term, he just gets removed. What happens to his bill?
That is a good question. The bill will just get discarded.
Okay.
I believe that's how it is now, something like that. I mean, if we go over the bill and they're not there, then Zama left. then not much will really happen anyway. So might as well just be discarded. Oh, Zama has to go. Okay.
Even if it is a big bill, like a very important bill that a lot of people have been talking about.
Yes, actually. So before Notorious retired as a representative, he actually talked with me about making a bill which would turn now it's not useless, but the previously useless party system into committees, which is how we have it now. He wrote this huge document, like it just very impressive stuff. And then the day after he tells me all of this, he wants to make this bill, he just retires. And that bill was unfortunately discarded. However, luckily, Zama did make that bill into a reality. I don't know if it was through Notorious or if Zama just decided it or not, but yeah, the bills just get discarded. Sadly, this has happened before, the pretty big one, and that's what happened. So, yeah,
Okay.
good question though. Thank you.
So
Okay. Thank you.
on this topic that Robot has brought up, I think if it is a bill that applies to a regiment in specific, like if it's a bill to edit just the regiment, I think like it should be up to the new representative and the old representative that wrote the bill if they would like to continue on this bill, like for the new representatives just to pick up writing
Well, if
it.
that's the case, because I remember the plagiarism bill I wrote did get passed, but because there is technically no one in the office who owns that bill anymore, then really anyone could rewrite it, so to say, and in that way the bill could just get passed on its own. Or, like you suggested, the old representative and the new one could just collaborate on the bill, and then the bill could be passed that way.
And like, so that just way that like if the representative has the bill written and they're getting like the new representative won't have to write a whole nother bill and get it approved and stuff, like get it through the house.
Uh, I don't quite understand what you're asking. Are you asking how the
No, I'm just saying. I was just saying like it will work better. And so like if Carchart he wrote that big MP reforms bill, and like that's kind of a major change that would come to CA. And like if he was to retire today, like and the new whoever takes his spot or his other representative counterpart could like take over the like controlling the bill, speaking about it, writing it for him. It would just make it flow easier instead of the new representative having to write it all over again.
Yes, I see what you mean. Well, to solve that problem, even if that isn't like formally brought out, the old representative could just copy and paste the bill to the new one, and they could do it that way. But I do see what you mean, and yeah, we're not gonna like immediately archive the bill. That we wouldn't do that. And even if we did, it's only archived. It's not deleted, so we could always bring that bill back and then reassign it to the new representative. So yeah, even though that's not an official thing, there are places or there are things in place where that would not be that dramatic of a change. Okay, Card Shark, you're up. What's your comment and or question?
Wait. I completely lost my train of thought, but I also had this other thing that I was gonna just quickly ask you guys about. So I have noticed that recently the House Guard function bill has been passed, and although this is a bit off topic, I think the House should get together, maybe not this week, next week or something, and just like hash out how the House Guards are gonna formally function. Maybe get the roles and the perms and the mod and all that stuff.
Well, representatives are able to host meetings like yourself, so if you would like, you are able to host a meeting on that later.
Yeah, I might try and host one. Like
I
next
think
week.
an announcement would be better because like you see how many representatives are here right now, and not a lot of people are going to be able to attend that meeting, so you're going to have to make an announcement anyway, even if you host a meeting. So I think it would just be better typed out in an announcement instead of hosting a meeting and making an announcement.
Yeah, you could do that as well. Yes, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, I completely forgot. Oh, yes, the bill. Okay. Should it be passed to legislation? Yay or nay? Looks like we immediately have, is that 4 or 5 yays? Looks like we immediately have 4 yays in the Roblox chat. 1 nay. I don't know how many, I forgot how many representatives are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, well, we got 4 yays, so that's majority. That means, I believe you are still representative for MP. Yeah, all right. That's 4 or 5 yays. I don't remember. But either way, it's going to get past the legislation. You have 24 hours to vote on this bill. Yep, there we go. Oh, who got the mallet? Hold up. Who got the mallet? Me. Hold up. How do you get the mallet? Is it just give me mallet? Yo. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Moving on. Next bill, also mine. Bunker Hill gun skins. Here, I would like to read the introduction to this because I feel like it was really well made. The devs have been crying, please, please give us some way to make us money. And this bill will answer those cries. This bill will add a lot more game passes to Bunker Hill and will add a lot more opportunities to allow Bunker Hill to make more money. Yeah, that's basically the bill. So, just to go over it for questions, basically there are gun skins within Bunker Hill, mainly musket skins and horse skins. And this bill will just add game passes for those skins. I do have suggestions. So if you know, not Blood and Iron. I think it's like the zombie version of Blood and Iron. I forgot which one. It might be Blood and Iron actually. But there's a cosmetic system. No, it is the original one too. There's a cosmetic system of game passes. You buy the game pass and then you just get to customize your character from there. It would kind of be the same thing but with gun skins. And before you ask, these game passes would not give the gun skins separately because they are their own guns. This instead, like if you have a musket and you bought a gun skins game pass, then you would be allowed to change that musket into a blue musket, for example, and you'd still only have one musket. It would just be a different colored musket. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Any questions? How are skins pay to win? They would not
No,
be pay to win.
I just think that like a Game Pass is already really expensive, and I don't think anyone's really gonna pay just to have a gun skin. And I think it's just gonna make the game too much like a bunch of the other games, and it's just gonna become the same. I think we should just go without it. Maybe instead of skins, like a different design, because muskets wouldn't all look the same. Some would have like silver and brown, some would have gold and brown, some would be
The
just
problem
all
with
wood.
the problem with that is that those in itself are skins, so I don't really see your point there. And
Okay,
another
wait,
thing,
wait.
yes.
What do you mean by what is your definition of the skins that would be added?
So, well, there already are pre-existing
Yeah.
skins in the game. So these skins are muskets, but just remodeled or retextured in some way.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking I would like someone running around like a pink musket. That's what I was thinking when you said that.
Well, yeah, that's what it would be.
Okay, well I think that's just I'd rather just have a different design of musket, like the brown on silver we have right now, and then the brown on gold, and then maybe like a brown on bronze or something.
I don't understand how that's not a skin in itself, though.
I just think it shouldn't be like a bright pink musket, or because that's just not even close to historically accurate or accurate at all. It's just not,
I think what you're trying to say is that the skin should not be exaggeratingly flashy.
I don't want
Basically.
someone running around with like a Louis Vuitton musket in the 1700s.
Or neon stuff.
Yeah, or like a neon pink musket. That's
Okay,
just
I see
skin
what
can-
you mean, but that would require the devs to do more work, and in this way, the skins are already made, therefore they would have to do less work. But I do see what you mean. And honestly, that's kind of up for the devs to decide. If they decide to not use the current musket skins and then do decide to redesign them like you suggested, then sure, that happens, but I'm just proposing it to make it easier for them. But again, that's really up to the devs. I believe someone said how these are going to be pay to win. They will not. So, yeah, someone said, yeah. Bunker Hill's already pay to win.
That was me. I was just answering HB.
Yeah,
I didn't
so
mean pay to win. I just meant like Bunker Hill. It's already like if you buy game passes, you already have way more of an advantage. I just don't think anyone wants to pay money just to have a skin. Like maybe it's really like
that's really up to people's opinions, you know.
yeah.
Like I know I would buy them just because I think they would be funny.
I don't think there's enough people that spend that much time on Bunker Hill for it to be even worth it.
Valid.
I was thinking it would be CA wide games, like an old game.
No, it wouldn't be CA wide. It would just be for Bunker Hill.
Then that's terrible.
Valid.
Alright,
What I want to say, Valid, I want to... Oh, I lost my train of thought. Never mind, I lost my train of thoughts.
Because like if you think of it from a new joining militia thing, if they're looking for like a different group and they see you can buy skins and stuff, they're just gonna think you just another group like most of the groups now, and they're just gonna not even bother staying.
I understand what you mean. I believe Sophs had a question. Oh, Card Shark had to go. That's fine. Did you have a question, Sophs? Yes or no? I invited you on stage. If you want, you could just deny it. No? Okay. Okay, well, in that case, let's do a roll call vote. Just to clarify, this is not if the bill should be passed or not, just if it should go to legislation to be voted on. So,
Well,
yay if it should go to legislation, or nay if it should not. One yay. One nay. Two nays. You are not a representative, I don't think, Mr. Robot. Unless you are you?
No, he's
Used to
not.
be? Alright, well, you're not, so it doesn't count. Alright, well, we have two nays and one yay. Oh, no, we have three nays. And I believe, is that the majority? 3, 6. Well, it's 3-1 right now. I say yay. So I believe we're just waiting on who is it? Sophs? No, we're not waiting on Sophs. Hold on. Let me try to recount this. Mega's a yay. I can't vote. Says who? What? When has that been a thing? You're not a rep. I'm still in the house, though. Okay. Well, it doesn't seem like the other mysterious person is voting anyway, so the bill will not go to legislation. I'll probably edit this because, yeah, your criticism is pretty valid. I think they should change the skins. But, yeah, okay. That's fair. So, any other comments or questions before I end this meeting? Any other comments or questions? No?
about my bill,
Okay.
the bill, I've changed a little bit stuff to be more precise to current consensus. So I rewrote the bill, the important parts. replaced ADC with COO and stuff with
Yes,
Colonel of Operations.
So sorry, I almost forgot. Okay, let's do a roll call vote on Colonel of Operations
No,
bill.
let me just explain what I changed. I
Sure.
changed the name, and instead of saying they will gain a job, they will assign new jobs, like assign something new. To guarantee they have something to do. That's it.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, let's do a roll call vote on this bill then before the meeting ends. Yay for nay or yay if it goes to legislation, or nay if it shouldn't. Which one? The Colonel of Operations one, the aide de camp one that was changed. All right. Well, we got 2 yays, 1 nay. No, that's no 3 yays, 1 nay. Yeah, 3 yays, 1 nay. And I believe there's only 5 of us now. Yeah. All right, so that's the majority. This bill would be put to legislation. You got 24 hours to vote on it. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Anything else from anyone else at all? Anyone, everyone, no one, perhaps? I got a ping in house lobby that I missed. Are we not? Okay. All right. No one. Okay. In that case, this bill will be like I meant the meeting will end now. Impeach? I don't know. Get someone to write a bill on that. I don't know. Maybe he deserved to demote you. Well, if he probably demoted you just because you didn't do anything, man. That's why he demoted on you. You did a lot? I don't know. Sucks to suck, I guess. I don't know.
He was demoted because of racism. That's fine.
So true. Okay.
No, it's actually true. He was demoted because of racism.
Alright, this bill, this meeting, I made that mistake again.
Give me one.
Now.
Give me one.
Yeah, okay.
Give everyone.
Goodbye.
Give everyone.
Bye-bye.